you grew up in Houston, Texas, right?
Yes, sir.
And you got your start at the Houston Coliseum with Houston Wrestling, working for Paul Bosch. Now, Tom Pritchard, your brother's 4 years older than you. How did you get your start into Houston Wrestling? Was he already in the business? Did you follow his footsteps?
Well, it started out when we were kids. My mom would take us every single Friday night to the Sam Houston Coliseum.
How old were you when you first became a fan?
Oh, my God. I first became a fan in El Paso, Texas, watching the Funks in the Amarillo territory. And that was the greatest thing in the world. Then my whole world got uprooted, and we moved from El Paso to Houston in 1969.
Were you born in El Paso?
I was born in El Paso, raised
Oh, man, I thought you was a Houston kid.
From 1969 on, yep.
Okay, so anyway, you go on to Houston, and then, but you're already watching wrestling over there in El Paso?
Yep, and we got here, man, and it was a whole different group of wrestlers. There was Wahoo McDaniel and Johnny Valentine and Thunderbolt Patterson, and it was just different. The Funks were heels in Houston. I couldn't believe that, because the Funks were heroes in Amarillo, man.
They had to be babies over there to draw that money, and then they could work the other side if they went to a different place, right?
Oh, hell yeah. So it was, we just were those guys that we went every single week. We had the same seats every single week. And Paul Bosch, who was the promoter there in Houston, Texas, had big cauliflower ears, man, and he was the man in Houston, Texas.
Damn right.
And Paul every day got his mail at 9:30 at the wrestling ticket office. And so if we were off school or something and we had like a holiday or whatever, my mom would drive us downtown, and she'd get us there right at 9:30. So Paul Bosch was coming out to get his mail.
Yeah.
And we were those kids, hey, Paul Bosch, how you doing, Mr. Bosch? And he would always stop, talk to us, bring us back to his office and show us, because you didn't get back beyond the counter, man. And Paul would bring us back, let us go down the hallway, and it was like going back in the dressing room at that time. That was like the coolest thing on earth. And Tom was, as you said, 4 years older than me, and Tom started taking pictures, and Paul let Tom take pictures at ringside. And so Tom was gradually doing things with Paul and doing different things, and the opportunity came up to sell posters. And they asked me if I would be interested in doing that. I'm like, well, hell yeah. You get a quarter a poster, 25 cents a poster you sold for $1.
That's good money.
Well, it's great money, because the first time we went out, they gave a bunch of us, 4 posters each, about 6 kids. Well, I went out and I sold my 4. I came back, got more, sold more, came back, got more. I made $12 first night, 10 years old, $12. 1973. Brother, that's big money.
Damn right it is.
That's big money. And so I became like the poster kid, man, and I sold stuff and everything. And by the time I was 12 years old, we did the TV show there in Houston, and the assistant director was in charge of timing the shows out, giving Paul commercial cues and things like that. And I got to do that when I was 12. When I was 14, man, I got a ring announce. Funny story with that, too, but I was a ring announcer, and then by the time I was 18, I was just kind of general manager running the whole show, so it was pretty cool.
Man, you got a great education process.